Good morning, Essential Stencil followers. Hi, thanks for joining me. It's 11 o'clock here in Missouri. I'm Melissa Miller, and I am on Essential Stencil's page today to just do a little bit of stenciling. If you're hopping on and you're able to watch during the daytime hour, that's fantastic. Welcome. Let me know. Maybe hop on and say hi. Whenever you get a second, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you're watching from work, if you watched my last live. My husband was trying to give out work passes so people could watch our lives during work. Like, that's really gonna work. But anyway, if you're watching today for the first time, let me know you're a first time watcher too. I always like to know who's not watched any of my lives before. I am Melissa Miller, and I see some people here from Missouri that are hopping on. So yay, good morning from in my home state. Welcome. We are in Northwest Missouri. We run a little business called Miller's Rustic Sawmill, and we have lots of different woods and slabs, stuff like that. If you want to learn more about our business, you can follow us on our page and message us there. Yes, Janice, thank you so much. Yesterday was my birthday, and I had a good day. Aside from the snow, I'm in layers today. It's been cold. Yeah, just not ready for winter. I think I should be a snowbird and go south for the winter. So, hi Tracy. You guys, thanks for sharing. Kim, you're homesick. That stinks. I'm sorry. Oh, hello, hello. Hi, Mimi. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Janet. Thank you guys for sharing. I'm going to say the word share. Hopefully I don't get put into Facebook jail. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I had several of you message me yesterday. I think my mom put on a post somewhere that it was my birthday. I am usually just pretty quiet about that stuff. Not that it's not a blessing. It's a blessing to have a birthday for sure. So I'm not gonna discredit that. But definitely. Oh, Liz, tomorrow's your birthday. Well, hey, happy birthday early today. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. First time watching. Yay, thank you, Lynn. I'm glad to have you on. Glad you could catch me live. Come on down. You have an extra room. I would love to go somewhere warm. Whenever I was young, when you're young, I guess that, you see the snow, you want to go out, you want to just, play in it, it's fun, yada, yada. And we used to have neighbors that lived next to us. Oh, Amanda told you guys. Amanda, thanks. I see you're on. Thank you for sharing. It was my birthday. That's awesome. Fantastic. But we used to have these neighbors, and they had this big motorhome. And every winter, like right after Christmas, they would pack up their motorhome, they would go to Arizona, and we got to play in all of their snow in their yard. They were like grandparents to us. And I remember every winter thinking, why would they want to leave? Why would they want to leave all of the snow? I mean, why? Just, I never understood why they left. And I get it now. I totally get it. Marcia, you said another crafter told you. I saw somebody just said that Amanda told you guys last night. That's funny. I was watching her live, but I must have hopped off or missed that part. I didn't see that. So thank you, Amanda. It was a good day. You are young, she says. Yeah. I don't feel young, but one of my friends did say, she texted me yesterday and she said, hey, at least we're not 50. And I said, well, at this point, I'm gonna be happy to make it to 50 some days the way that I feel. So I don't think that's old. I think age is a number. I think, I don't know. Although I will say that whenever I turned 40, I remember thinking, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Well, 40 wasn't really a big deal. It was like 41 and 42. All of these things start happening that, you know, that's what people say, you know, happens. It's like, oh, once you hit 40, just wait. And I hit 40 and I was like, nothing's happening. But it was like 41, 42, the different doctor's appointments, the eye appointments, you know, all of that stuff. So, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll take it. Okay, I see. I've got a lot of people on, you guys. Thank you for joining me at 11 o'clock during the day. I love it. I like the daytime lives. They work out really well for us. I know a lot of you know my husband is sometimes here too. He may or may not make it back to say hi. I don't know. He had some logs he was bidding today. So thank you. And yes, yay, Sherry. That's great. I'm glad that you like those slab pieces. Betty, hello. There's a lot of you still joining, so this is awesome. I never know exactly when to start. I do like to get stuff done. You guys also know I really like to talk, so sometimes I feel like I should just have a live where I just chat and I get to answer questions and all of that fun stuff. If you want to learn more about our business, we are Miller's Rustic Sawmill in King City, Missouri. You can follow our page there, you can message me there, and you can check out all of the things that we do there. I use a lot of our wood for my stenciling. The stencils have totally helped me grow our business in a different direction. So once I found the essential stencils, it was just a godsend and a great fit. So if you don't have any of the essential stencils, let me know. Let me know if you've never used their stencils, because a lot of you on here have a lot of them, and I'm sure, maybe not a lot, but I see a lot of the same names, and I've become, you know, kind of where I feel like I know a lot of you. A lot of you message me. So anyway, if you don't have any of the stencils, I would love to encourage you to try them out. And Essential Stencil has a lot going on right now, especially with their new Stencil of the Month Club. So if you are not in that Stencil of the Month Club, I posted the link. You can totally go check it out and see if there's a plan that works for you to join their Stencil of the Month Club, because those are going to be exclusive stencils, just exclusive. So you won't be able to order them on their site, nothing like that. You have to be in the club to get them. So anyway, that's that. If you haven't checked out their Stencil of the Month Club, they've been busy working really hard to kick that off, and I think it kicks off or rolls out this week. So definitely check it out. That's where this beautiful, I know it's backwards, but that's where this stencil or this apron came from too. So you have the option to get that in your membership there in the Stencil of the Month Club. So let me see what else. I try to cover my bases and then we'll get to work. I totally wanted to tell you that I am also giving away 3 stencils today. I almost always forget. And whenever I'm getting ready to go live, I sometimes sit here just like blank, you know, just trying to remember, what do I need to tell them? What do I need to say? I'm just like, And I almost always forget until somebody asks. A lot of times someone will say, are you giving away stencils? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm giving away stencils. So anyway, I think if you've got questions, just know that I don't have a helper today. My husband's not here yet. So it's just me flying solo, which most of the brand ambassadors and the girls on here do. They fly solo. So anyway, if you have questions and I don't get them answered, it's because a lot of the comments are just going really fast, and I don't have all the time to sit and chat and answer all of the questions. But I do go back and read the comments. So just so you know, remember that. So I do try to go back and try to answer the questions, or Essential Stencil will try to answer them. So I'm going to a paint party tonight and taking my stencils. Yay! Yeah, they are great for paint parties. If you're trying to get something like that going and you don't want a free hand and you don't want to come up with creations and designs, use your stencils for those paint parties, you guys. It's a little bit of investment sometimes, and I get that, but man, they can totally just take your business and shift it in a different direction and open up a lot of doors for you that way if you're working on something like that. So anyway, sorry, my shoes are squeaky. What I'm going to show you today and what we're going to do, I'm using some basic colors just to show you that you don't have to even invest in a lot of colors. So a lot of times what locks us up as creators or in our business moves, or if you're a crafter, a lot of times we think we have to have all of the stuff to go forward and to move forward, and it's not true. It's like you know, it's like you tell yourself this stuff and you don't end up doing it, and it just kind of freezes you where you are. And I just want you to know that if you've got a little bit of money that maybe you've saved up and you've been working really hard to because you want to start something on the side that maybe becomes a full-time gig, you don't have to have a whole set of drawer full of paints like I have behind me. That didn't happen overnight. That didn't happen in one day. I didn't go out and spend a ton of money at Hobby Lobby and Walmart. I've collected and collected and collected and built and built and built. So it takes time. But I'm using just some black, white, and maybe a cream color stencil today. So black, white, cream, oh, and I have a red. I have a red set out. So I just wanted to show you kind of, I like to show simple. I like to show that if you are somebody who maybe just wants to invest in a few colors, that you can go simple. So anyway, what I'm using today is wood from our sawmill business. And you guys, we do ship these. So if you want to learn more about these pieces I'm using, I have all of the information on our page, and you can check that out over there. They are project pieces. So I know this is going to be backwards. You guys know I have an old phone, and I am stuck in the older generation of I don't like to switch out my phone. So thank you guys for the birthday wishes. I had a really good birthday. I can't complain at all. And I got a new little organizer for my paint back behind me. I don't know if you guys can see it, but my husband got me this cute little drawer on wheels. It's got like some drawers so I can put paints in it. My other one was totally falling apart because it was too heavy for the plastic. So he got me that. And I got some other stuff. I got some roses that are on our counter because he's sweet like that. And I got some Pioneer Woman stuff because I love the Pioneer Woman. My daughter got me that. And yeah, it was a good day. I can't complain. But this is what I'm using. So I'm going to show you. So let me just show you the set I'm using today so we get that checked off. I'm going to be using one of the stencils out of here is my plan, and this is if I get to them. If I don't, I'm going to show you. So that's one. It's got the 3 words. It's got grateful, thankful, and blessed. And you guys, those are pretty generic. Those are great for reversible signs. And then I've got the other one is the welcome, gather, and farmhouse. So those are 2 sets that are really good investments because they are pretty, they're not a seasonal one. They are just nice words. You could leave them out in your house all year long. And on the flip side of that, you could put something like I'm going to use today, which is the sleigh ride stencil. So I am doing one so that you could flip it around. I'm going to show you with a set of these or any of the seasonal ones like this, but this is the set I'm using today, and it's got 3 in there, 3 Christmas ones. These are really cute. And then like I told you, I'm using the welcome and the gather and the farmhouse. I'm using this set, and I'm using the grateful, thankful, blessed. So those are just some, those word stencils are really great for what I'm about to show you. So you see I've got gather on the back of this. And if I end up, I'm going to show you what else I'm going to do. So I'm going to do gather. I'm going to do, I've got gather done. That one was already done. I'm going to do farmhouse. I know it's backwards, I think, on your end. possibly. And then I'm going to also do thankful. So I have just mixed those stencils, the thankful, farmhouse, and gather, because you could hang these all together. You could hang them separately throughout your house. On the back side of my thankful is also this Bible verse that you guys, if you watched me do this one, you know that I love it. I absolutely love it. One of my favorites from Essential Stencil. That is, that would be that. And then on this side, I've got thankful. So that's a generic one. And then on this side, farmhouse, you can see here, I didn't even plan this, but I've got the Farm Fresh Christmas trees on the other side. So that's one that if you've got this hanging in your house all year long, come Christmas time, guess what? I flip it around. I don't have to hang anything. I don't have to pack anything away. I don't have to switch it up. I don't have to take it down. It's just one of those reversible. I'm all about reversible. I also like that if I'm getting a sign or I'm selling a sign, it's kind of like 2 for 1. So why not do the back? But I love more than anything that I don't have to take this down at Christmas time, and I can just flip it around. So anyway, these words are great. You can leave them out all year long, and you can do seasonal, something fun on the back. That way you've got all of these out, and the thankful, on the back of it, I have the Bible verse. So you can see here, I've got the Bible verse on here, and typically I would probably, you know, like have shown a Christmas or seasonal scene, but this one was already done. And I think that that's fine too. You can flip that around, and then at Thanksgiving time, you could put thankful. So they're just very versatile pieces. If you have the word signs that are the thankful, grateful, blessed, farmhouse, welcome, gather, they all go together. They all go in any decor, to be honest. And the farmhouse I'm putting on the back of this one. So I'm gonna just show you. It's just really simple, you guys. I'm gonna make a simple, versatile sign that's reversible. And all 3 of them could hang together if you wanted to. I've got gather done in a blue color here on this. And then on this side, I'm gonna do this first. I'm gonna do sleigh rides. And you can see I have spaced this. This doesn't quite fit on here, so I'm not gonna do those bottom words. I'm just gonna have the sleigh rides and then this part right here in the middle. And just because it doesn't fit on my piece, so I'm just using the top half of that. And something that I showed you guys, I like simple. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this, mostly because I'm trying to be on for an hour. How do I hang the double-sided signs? That's a good question, and I think Tina, okay. Tina, I'm just making sure I write that down so I can answer you. Double-sided signs are, I will show you, I use a wire tie. And this is just this piece right here. I get it at Home Depot or Lowe's. I staple this down in the top of my wood, and then I will take this and either wrap it with some twine just to kind of cover it. You can spray paint them if you want them to be spray painted, but they are in the concrete section or something like that. I think they are for rebar work, like in concrete, but they're called wire ties. I got these at Lowe's, and you can get a big pack of them. And then I just staple them on with a heavy-duty Stanley stapler up into the top. So you should be able to get them at Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards. Yeah, they are very sturdy. And they're also, you guys, what I really like about them is that there is no guesswork in having to be perfect as far as getting it right, because this is pliable. Once you get it up here, you can kind of bend it. So if it's not hanging quite straight, they are, you know, you can kind of bend it to make it work on your space. But I do like to take mine and cover them with twine or something and just dress it up to finish it. So I will always do that to my signs after I get that done. You can leave the wire tied just fine if you know, like it is, if you like. But okay, I am going to get started on this sleigh ride stencil. And I always sit here and I look at these signs before I go live, and I think about the colors, and I usually end up changing my mind. So anyway, I have done nothing to my wood to prep this piece yet. You guys, I will tell you, I used Thompson's water seal on my wood, and this side has been sealed. That's why it's darker. So this side tends to, it looks like it's a little bit lighter for some reason, whatever reason. And hi Monica from Nashville. But I will Thompson's water seal this too. So you can either do, I've done it both ways now. You can put the water seal on before. I always put it on after. So I hadn't tried putting it on before, but on my last live, I put it on before I went live, and then I stenciled right over it beautifully. I had no issues. But I think if you were putting it outside or in elements like that, you would probably want to still seal your paint with something. So anyway, I'm gonna get started on this. And you guys, I decided I'm just gonna use red, white, and black on the stencil. I've done some black and white Christmas stenciling, and it's just timeless. You can add red ribbon, you can add color with your, you know, your ribbons or something if you want to glue it on, you know, some greenery or something. But the black and white actually is very, very elegant and very pretty. This being a sleigh ride sign, I'm gonna add a little bit of red to it because I think it should have a little bit of fun feeling to it too. So I'm gonna add some red. I'm just trying to decide where. I think I'm going to make my sleigh and the wording down here red and my deer black, and I'm gonna use white for my sleigh rides. So I'm gonna just shake up my white paint and get a little bit of this out. And does the water seal bead up? You mean after it's sealed? It's a Thompson's water seal product, so I think if you put water on it, it should bead up. I haven't actually tried it. Melissa, thank you. It was my birthday yesterday. Also, you guys, I'm using cosmetic wedges from the Dollar General, local Dollar General here in town. And I'm gonna tell you, I think I told you in my last live, hi Susan, that I hadn't had any issues with the makeup wedges before until I had a class last week or 2 weeks ago. And we were doing some projects, and this one lady was just she was struggling, and I kept thinking, I don't know why she's struggling or why that's looking the way it is. Well, we had a makeup wedge that was really curved. So that was on me. I hadn't checked all of them to make sure that they were nice and sturdy or flat. And the next time I go to Walmart, I've heard some of the other ambassadors, the girls on here that do the videos, say that they have done the I guess the more expensive makeup wedges. They've gotten the higher you know, brand, or I don't know for sure. I haven't looked at Walmart, but I'm going to try that. I'm going to take their advice, and I'm going to try some different makeup wedges because I felt so bad that I hadn't checked hers, and I really think it had just gotten bent in the packaging maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but good morning, Pam. Hello, Sherry. I am yes, I'm using our project slabs. So these are the pieces that we ship out, you guys. If you're interested in them, you can check us out. Several of you on here have used those. So I've gotten a lot of really cool pictures. And that is super exciting to me. So I have shared some on my page, and I love it whenever you guys send me pictures of what you're making with our slabs. And I use my project slabs because I have this readily available to me. But I'm also the one that goes and I cut them, I plane them. If you come to our mill on any given day, you might see me out there, to be honest, like running boards through the planer, because these are all planed down nice and smooth, and then I cut them to my standard. So anyway, thank you. It's cold here in Missouri too, you guys. Oh, good Lord. Yes, I haven't bought the more expensive premium. Someone said premium wedges. Thank you for the word. I couldn't get it. I was like, I don't know. So I see you're watching at work, Sherry. Nice job. Mine was like, it wasn't getting to the paint on my project. That's one thing that I really don't know with the wedges. That was what we were struggling with, and I came over and I picked up her wedge and I went and got her a new one, because that's the best advice I have, is maybe I'm gonna try the premium ones and see if I notice a difference. Just make sure. I think that the premium ones are a little stiffer, so they may work better. The one that we were using that night, if you've had any issues, it was kind of curved and just really flimsy, and I don't know, for whatever reason, but I will let you know whenever I get the premium ones, and we'll try them out. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and stencil, and I like to use the wedges. I do have the brushes. Essential Stencil has a really nice set of brushes if you don't have those. Roseanne, you're watching from home. Hi, Joyce. You're late to the party. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna be careful not to go over the parts that I don't want to yet. So I don't have very much paint out here, you can see. I'm going to offload. That is the key. If you watch my videos, you know that offloading is the key no matter what you're using. If you're using wedges, if you're using brushes, whatever it is, the offloading is key. So you just want to make sure. And so whenever I go back to pick up, I'm not going over here. I'm going where I just offloaded. And you do want to make sure that you've got your makeup wedge pretty well kind of soaked in with paint. So we are located in King City, Missouri, you guys. Look us up on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, and you can always check us out there and see what we have going on. I know some of you are asking me questions, and they're scrolling up so fast. I will tell you that I do read your questions. I'm not always able to answer your questions while I'm live, just because I'm trying to paint and talk, but I will totally try to get to your questions. So the makeup wedges, you guys, you can have bleed through with anything that you're using. You just don't want to have very much paint on here, which is why I say offload, offload, offload. I cannot stress that enough. If you have too much paint on your brush, if you have too much paint on a roller, if you have too much paint on a sponge, you're gonna get some bleeding. And I'm gonna tell you that I am not immune to that. I'm not exempt from the bleeding. I get some of that still to this day. I mean, it just depends on, sometimes I stencil fast and I act like I'm in a hurry. So you also want to make sure that you're taking your time, and if you're in a hurry, you're probably not going to save any time. I have learned that the hard way, because there are a lot of times that I have tried to stencil something quickly, either for a gift or to get something done, and it ends up looking really bad, and then I have to redo it. I didn't save any time by hurrying. So keep that in mind if you are making Christmas gifts, if you're making signs to sell at craft fairs for Christmas, so you don't get frustrated. slow down. I know time is valuable, but you just, you know, you don't want to rush and have to sand something off and redo it. And that happens to all of us, you know, it happens to me. I have a piece right now that I just don't really care for the colors that I used. And I can tell you, like, on these pieces that I'm currently using on the slabs, this one is a piece of walnut. And they could be walnut, they could be a lighter wood. We have mixed pieces in those boxes. But the walnut, whenever you finish it with your Thompson's water sealer, it really darkens. So I have found that there are some colors I've used that I don't really care for on the walnut. So sometimes you just, you know, you just want to be careful. You just want to go slow. You want to take your time, and, you know, just that is how you prevent a lot of your bleeding. It's to just slow down, because it's not a race. Can you paint over if you don't like it? You could always line your stencil back up, because that's, I think I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try to line my stencil up, and I'm gonna try to use a different color over it, and I'm gonna see how it works out. So I had thought about that, and I just hadn't decided what I wanted to do, but that's a really good idea. And I think I will totally try to do that, and maybe I'll try to do it on here sometime so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's actually one of the signs I have here that I just wasn't happy with. Once I put the finish on, it went dark. So, you know, and made it kind of hard to see on the walnut. So the walnut's beautiful, but it is a little bit tricky with some of the colors. So that's why, another reason I'm keeping this really simple on this piece that I have here, because these signs, sometimes the whites, the blacks, they just work out really well on these pieces of wood that I have. You don't have to really be super creative, and they look beautiful because the wood ends up looking beautiful. Somebody else just asked a question, and I was going to try to answer it. How do you fix the bleed? So I have had this happen, and I have taken my wipes, like I had a class Friday night, and there was a little bit of bleeding on the board, and it wasn't finished. It was a piece of our raw wood. We were doing porch boards, and we were actually able to catch it in time with one of the disinfectant wipes. This is what I clean my stencils with most of the time. And so we were able to take one of these and just barely wipe off the sides of the bleeding. So that's something you can try. You can always try a Q-tip with a little bit of rubbing alcohol to see if you can clean up your bleeding. Something else that's very forgiving, you can always outline your letters with a marker, like a Sharpie marker, or I prefer the Sharpie markers over paint pens. Sharpie, you can get them in all kinds of different colors and sizes, like at your office stores, or you can just get a good black Sharpie. You could always go around the edge and do that, or you can take a small little brush, if you're good with a paintbrush, and just try to clean up those edges if they're really, really bothering you. So also another thing that you can always do is lay down a little bit of Mod Podge and glitter around whatever it is that maybe is bothering you or has bled. Just know that if you do, you know, like one letter, you may have to do all of the letters. So what if you have rough textured wood? I honestly steer clear of a lot of the rough textured wood. A friend of mine, we did a sign on a piece of barnwood, and you guys know barnwood, it is very, very cool looking, but my goodness, it's hard to stencil on. It ended up looking really cool. It looked rustic, so it kind of has to be the look maybe that you're going for. So that's kind of what I would say. The rough wood I don't have a lot of experience with, because I try to make sure all of our wood is planed. So well, I have used both baby wipes and disinfectant wipes. These have alcohol in them, so I think that they may work a little bit better than the baby wipes did for me. You can always just take and soak them in some, you know, Dawn dish soap, or, you know, you can put them in a water bath if that is what you would like to do too. I do try to just clean them right away. I really like the wipes. They're convenient, they're easy. The only paint that I have had an issue taking off is the chalk paint. If you let that sit on there, it's a little bit harder to remove from your stencil. But other than that, I mean, I usually just try to go ahead and get that knocked out after I'm done using my stencil. If you don't have time and you're doing a class or something, you can always lay a wipe over your stencil so that it stays moist and it's not drying completely until you can get to it. Then you can just come back and move that wipe over your stencil and it will get it cleaned. So thank you, Diana. Thank you for the birthday wish. Okay, so you can see here, I've got my sleigh ride stenciled in white. I'm going to only do my little deer in black. And I'm sure many of you have seen me do this before a million times, or other girls, but I don't even remember which girl I learned this from, but I love this tip because I'm frugal and thrifty. So I'm just cutting off the end of my little wedge. And oh, Jill, you know what? I wondered about the magic erasers. I haven't tried that yet, but I think that's a really good tip. I figured that they would probably work really well. So I'm just using, this is Anita's, this is just black paint from Anita's. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and I'm not gonna use very much on here at all because you can see, look at that little tiny dab, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and do my little deer here. And I'm gonna do that deer in black. So I'm gonna pick up a little paint. I'm gonna go ahead and come out here and offload on my plate. I don't know, hopefully I'm not frozen. I haven't tried hand sanitizer, Glinda. That's a good idea. I'll have to try that. I'm always up for trying anything. As far as, you know, if there's something that you guys would like me to try, that's kind of what we do here on Essential Stencil. We can try it for you before you do it yourselves. So if you've got some things like that that you're wondering about and you would like me to try, I'll be glad to try as long as I remember. And you can always remind me and be like, hey, remember you said you were going to try this. That way you don't have to. So that's a really good idea. I would totally try the hand sanitizer because you can get a giant bottle of that really cheap. I like that idea. Hey, you're watching on lunch. Hello, Jerry Lynn. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, I will be picking some winners. I know for some of you it might be hard to stay watching if you're at work or you're at lunch and you got to go back, but hopefully you can stick around and hopefully I can try to stay on time. So I'm doing the little deer right now, and I'm doing the reins, and I'm making sure that I get down in those little lines. Those can be a little tricky sometimes, and I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on my makeup sponge as I'm doing that, just to make sure that I get it. So that is, sometimes you do have to kind of push that down really hard. So, oh, thank you. Different types of paint seem harder. Kim, I know, some of them do. Most of the ones I use are all, you know, Anita's, or they are Deco Art. They are usually from Hobby Lobby or Walmart. And I don't usually typically have a problem with most of my acrylic paints, cleaning them. But if I use a chalk paint, I sometimes find that that can be a little bit harder. So now I'm just using the Anita's Red. Susan, you're asking, how do I store my stencils? I have mine in a box. I think it was like a fruit box. And I have them standing up, like, you know, up and down in my box, and I have dividers between them. And somebody just asked me, what did you just ask me? I just saw another question. Where did it go? It was right after yours. No, so pressure is the key. Joyce, you were asking about pressure. Pressure is the key sometimes, you know, with these makeup wedges. The beauty of that is that you can hold it kind of close, and you can really kind of push and hold down on there if you want to offload a little bit of paint onto your stencil. So I've got to find another way to store my stencils. So I am actually currently kind of trying to figure out how I want to store them. I like to be able to flip through them, like, you know, like this way in front of me. I like to be able to look through them like that. So I have them in a box right now that is a little bit larger, just a cardboard box. And like I said, I think it's a fruit box. And I have the black, some of the black dividers that came in my stencil packs. If you've got any of the essential stencils, you know that they have these really nice pieces of this black, almost like cardboard in them. So I use those. I use those a couple of different ways. I don't, about everything that they send, I try to reuse. So have my husband build me something. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Maybe I will. Maybe we'll try to build something to store my stencils in. Well, I now have, you know, what I find is, like, some of my stencils, of course, are longer. So you just have to have something longer. And, you know, I think I just need a little bit larger box to accommodate some of my bigger stencils. And I think I don't mind using the box. I put them back in the packaging. I try to take good care of them, you know, so I usually try to put them right back in after I've cleaned them. They go back into their packaging so I can find them whenever I'm finding them, or if I have a class and we need to use them, somebody else can find them. So, oh, thank you, Kim. The black papers, they're just part of the packaging that Essential Stencil has. But let me show you this tip too. If you've never seen me show this, thank you, Susan. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Regina. I did have a really good day. If you've never seen me use, so these are just part of the packaging that you get in the Essential Stencils. So I also sometimes, the little squares, the 6x6, I will sometimes take and I will just cover up like something I don't want to stencil over instead of taping. Sounds kind of lazy, maybe it is, but I do kind of, you know, sometimes like this right here, like I will put this down. I think I've got two here. I do have two of them. So I'll just put this down and I'll lay this here so that way it's just kind of covering something I don't want to get a stencil over, or stencil, I don't want to get the red on. So yeah, Tina, I don't know. I mean, that's always worked for me. It was just what I had. I used what I had. You guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this makeup wedge again. I'm going to cut the end off. I try to cut it straight. Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure out the storage, you guys. But I'm going to go ahead and do this red. Yay, you guys have all gotten your pre-order stencils. If you pre-ordered, yeah, that's awesome. How many of you that are watching today are in or joining the Stencil of the Month Club? Let me know if you are in there, because I am going to be one of the moderators in there. So that's exciting. I don't exactly know what all that even means yet. I kind of have an idea, but we're going to be doing some exclusive, I think some exclusive things in there too. So if you are in there, I will also see you in there. Do I always tape down my stencils? I do, personally. A lot of people don't. I watch other people and they don't always tape theirs down. So I get a little bit too nervous, so I don't always do that. But if you haven't joined, I do have a link up here, and if you use my code, you can save $5 on your first month for that Stencil of the Month Club, you guys. That's where this cute little apron I have on came from. and there's going to be exclusive stencils in there. You can always try it out. You can do different, they have different ways that you can order and save, but you can always use my code up at the top of the video too, and you can save on your first month. You can save $5. So definitely, if you're considering joining, you'll want to make sure you put in a code. That way you save some money. Also, if you are thinking about ordering stencils, you should know, if you've watched before and if you haven't, that you can use my link and you can save 10% off anything that you order. So the ones I'm using today are the word stencils that are the Farmhouse, Gather, Welcome. I'm showing the Thankful, Grateful, and Blessed set. And then I'm using one of the Christmas seasonal sets. So someone said, I'm nervous to join. What if I don't necessarily don't want it? If you're nervous to join, I mean, I think that you can still join down the road. So, you know, if you're not sure, you can always wait, or you can join. And then I think you can cancel, I believe, at any time too, if you do monthly. I don't think that it's a big deal. You can always try it out and see if you like it. But I do know that the stencils in there that we will be using are only going to be shipped out to the Stencil of the Month Club. So that I'm kind of excited about, that you won't be able to order them on Essential Stencils site. And I haven't seen any of them, honestly. So hi, Kathy, it's your first time seeing me. Thank you. I'm glad you are watching. I am trying to, usually my husband is with me, and usually he is reading questions to me. So I've been trying to, in my mind, write down some questions, and I just saw one. I was trying to offload, offload, offload. Oh, Brenda, it is so true. Whatever you are using, you guys, I have people message me and they will say, you know, what did I do wrong? I'll get pictures sent to me on our Facebook page on Miller's Rustic Sawmill. And, you know, and I'm like, well, you know, try this, try that. You can always, you know, if you're working with wood, you can always sand it off and do it again. I know you don't want to. Nobody wants to have to redo their signs. But I will tell you that, you know, my two go-tos that I find myself saying to people over and over are exactly what she just said. Offload, offload, offload. And then I also tell people to make sure you're just taking your time. So whether you're using the brushes, whether you're using the makeup wedges, whether you're using a roller, take your time and offload. You can always go back over it, you guys. You can always go back over it. It's much harder to take it off of your board than it is to take it off of your roller, your makeup wedge, or your brush. This is easy to take the paint off of before you ever start. So you can always go back over your board with another layer, and yes, it might take some time, but to me, that's better than redoing it. So I'm trying to look at questions. Brittany, you said you think it might be not offloading. It takes practice. You guys, it takes practice. And I'm not going to tell you that I could pull this off today and there could totally be bleeding on here, because, I mean, none of us are perfect. It just takes practice. So don't be scared to try it. So this is what I did, you guys, and it turned out super cute. It's just the red, the white, and the black. And it's sleigh rides. And I did not use the whole stencil, but that is so easy. And it's just adding, you've got the black and the white. I used the black on my deer. I'm just trying to show you that you don't have to have a ton of colors. I could have done this all black and white and it would have looked beautiful. And you know, once I put my hanger up here, I could tie some really fun, colorful Christmas ribbon on it. And that could have given my pop of red. So anyway, this turned out really cute, you guys. It is in the stencil set that has 2 other stencils in it. It's in this cute set right here. And I'm showing you guys that on the backs of these, so, you know, I can flip this around for Christmas, and on the back, I have the word gather. This can go out for all year long. It could go out for Thanksgiving. It could just hang in my home, however, wherever I want. And then at Christmas time, boom, flip it around and I've got my Christmas decor. I don't have to drag out of my closet or take down and pack away and put something up. Do you pull the stencils while the paint is wet? Sometimes I do, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I do. Most of the time I'm using such little paint though, to be honest, that my paint is not wet. It's almost always dry by the time I'm done. And it's just because, number one, acrylic dries really fast. And number two, I'm hardly using any paint. So it does not take much time to dry. So there is that. And is it for sale? I am getting ready to put several of my signs for sale on our site, you guys. I've had people asking to buy them, asking if they're for sale. They will be for sale. So I'm getting ready to do some uploading to our Facebook page and have some things for sale shortly. So just so you know, you can, if you don't know who we are Miller's Rustic Sawmill. And we are in King City, Missouri. You can follow us on Facebook. So I hate packing things away after the holidays. I know. So Crystal's saying, how do you get your wood? Crystal, go to our Facebook page and I have a bundle of these pieces that you can order there too. So if you want to get the stencils, you guys, this is what I was showing. So this was kind of my point, was that if you get these word stencils like gather, yeah, you can, once it's dry, you can totally seal it. And I will seal it. I use Thompson's water sealer. But I've got gather on this side. I'm going to do farmhouse on this side, you guys. And then this is going to be, this is the other side. This is the one I'm going to be redoing because this green down here did not show up well. Those words, I don't care for them. So maybe I will just lay my stencil down, and that's in the same set that I used today, you guys. So I've got that Christmas one. It's in this set. If you don't have this set, this is a really good set for these boards. So there's that. And then I've got also this board that had one of my favorites on there. And this is the Bible verse. So it's, you know, Micah 6:8, and this is one of my favorite stencils from them. But the back is going to say thankful. So I will, whenever I'm done with these, I will have 3 different word signs that can hang out in a house, in a shop, or wherever all year long, because they're just generic words. They're sweet words, but they will go all year long. And then I have the back sides that I can flip around whenever I want to. So anyway, that is just something that is, you know, to show you guys, if you are investing in some of the stencils and you're just getting started and maybe you want to sell some signs, I would say, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Someone asked me if I could outline or go over my words. That's a really good idea. I might try that. But these words and, oh, someone said they just introduced me to your husband. Well, hi, husband. But these words, you guys, these are really great stencils. I try to tell you about ones that I think are very versatile, might help you sell some signs if that's what you're doing. And these are another 2 of those sets. So they are really, really easy to use. You can make them really simple. You don't have to get super creative. So you don't have to use a bunch of colors. They look beautiful in just black and white. And you know, you can always add pops of color with your ribbon or something else too. So I'm looking at this question, Lynn. You asked, is it possible to use too little paint? I feel like I have to go over my stencils several times to get it to cover. I would say that sometimes you can use too little paint. I would tell you to, you know, if you feel like you're going over and over and over, try using a little bit more paint, and try, you know, if you're maybe a little too nervous to put much paint on there, try it on something else. Try it on something that you're not working on. Get out a practice board. I have practice boards around here all the time. And I sometimes even just stencil on this craft paper. I have a roll of craft paper, or if you've got brown paper bags sitting around, practice on something that might be similar. Or if you have a scrap piece of wood, try that and go ahead and put a little bit more paint on whatever it is that you're using, and see if it makes a difference for you, and see if you don't have to maybe keep going over and over and over. So, Julie, you say you're trying to get your husband to stencil with you. Well, good luck. Maybe I'll have my husband come and stencil with me again. You guys all enjoyed that whenever I do that. So, you can show that anybody can do it. And yes, your husband can help you, totally. I usually do 2 to 3 coats, and the very first coat is light. Yeah, you guys can see, and I just laid this down. This is the one that I just did, and I used the makeup wedges. After you have maybe, you know, done a few, then you can always try, you know, you get a little more comfortable with it. You get to where maybe you can put a little bit more paint on there. And I'm sorry if my video froze, but I would totally recommend that you have a practice board and lay your stencils down and just practice. And I can't see the signs, can't stand to see signs that are not painted all the way though, and you can see the background. Well, you mean so you can see through your paint. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. You guys can always kind of lift off your, you can peek, or what I call, you can pull up your stencil a little bit and peek at it and see if it looks okay. Just check it that way. And then if not, you can always, you know, put a little bit more paint on there. So keep that in mind. Christy, you love my glasses. Thank you. I don't hardly ever wear them on here because I'm always afraid there's going to be a glare on my video, but I had them on today and I went live and I was like, oh, I have my glasses on. Practice board is a great idea. Yeah, this one turned out really cute. And what I like about this, you guys, is that it's just simple. It's black, white, and red. I did a pop of red. Someone asked where Bucky was. Bucky is, I don't know right now. He had went to buy some logs this morning or look at some logs or something. So yeah, he might be out at the sawmill right now. Marcia says I haven't tried canvas yet. I honestly haven't used a canvas in forever. So how long do I wait to seal the wood after I stenciled it and my letter smeared? Okay, well, I don't know anything about the chalk protective top coat. I don't use a lot of chalk paint, but what I will show you, so before I finish, I'll show you 2 things. I'm gonna show you that I do have my Thompson's water sealer. Most of you always ask about this. This is what I use to seal my boards, and it's just in clear. So there's that. And I will go ahead and seal this right in front of you, and I will show you how I do it. I just have this chip brush. It's kind of it's been well used, well loved, you can see. And then I've got a little bit of Thompson's that I had already poured out here. The magic of the Facebook Live video, right? I mean, I didn't just pour it. I had it sitting out here because I was hoping, and then someone reminded me by asking about it. So I will just take this and I will get a little bit on here. I've already sealed the other side, and you will see, I will just go right over this. None of my paint is smearing. I haven't had the problem that you're talking about. I also haven't used that top coat, so I can't help you there to know if it was your top coat or if it was maybe not dry, or if it was the chalk paint, it could have been, there's a lot of different things that could have, you know, that maybe could have caused that. So I am, is that Thompson sealer water-based? So yes, it is a water-based sealer. And I will clean my brush. I have a little bowl of water that sits here, and I usually just throw my brushes in there until I get them cleaned. Ooh, nice job, Sherry. You got a good deal. So you can also see what happens to this wood whenever I seal it. It pops the grain, it darkens it, and it makes it finished. So that is, I just use one top coat. And I go around my edges. These are called live edge. These are live edge slabs. Most of the project pieces that we ship have at least one live edge to them. Sometimes they have a straight edge on the bottom. But yes, I use one layer, and I do use the ends. You guys, I don't worry about these a whole lot being sealed if they're going to be inside. You know, it's whenever you're putting them outside that I do worry about them. But the Thompson's water sealer, I will tell you, on these pieces, it just makes them beautiful. It's a nice clear coat that just pops the grain. So it made a big difference on that. And you can see that the red and the black and the white really show up on that wood. So, and the Mod Podge, yes, I've used Mod Podge as well, you guys. You can get different kinds of Mod Podge. You can get it in a spray can. I also think you can get the Thompson's water sealer in a spray. So that's something to consider too if you don't want to brush it on. That big can, I can't even remember how much it was, but it's, you know, very cost effective to get a little bit. Whatever I have left in here, I'll either use on another sign or I will pour it back in. And it's kind of easy. It's not, it does have a smell to it. So if the smell bothers you, you might want to wear a mask. If some people get headaches from smells, it's not super strong, but it does have an odor to it. So yeah, it really makes a difference. So how long does this take to dry? I'm sure somewhere on the can it says how long you're supposed to let it dry. I'm gonna claim that I just am not good at reading directions, but I typically would say maybe, you know, we have put stuff like this in somebody's car from a class within like 15 minutes sometimes. So I definitely know it should dry longer than that. But if you want it to cure, I would say let it set for 24 hours for sure. But I mean, to make it movable and to move it from one place to another, it doesn't typically take too long for it to dry. It also depends on the conditions and the humidity where you're at and what kind of weather you have going on sometimes. So I think there might be a little bit of delay with my video. I'm trying to see what's going on. Can you guys see me okay? Hopefully you can. Yeah, okay. I think so. Someone said they use a spray acrylic. Thank you, Kim, thank you. Deb says, love it. Well, I appreciate you guys joining me for an 11 o'clock live. I was showing off, of course, this sleigh ride stencil. That comes in a 3-pack if you want to get that one. But then there's also the word stencils. So think about those. If you are trying to do some signs that are reversible and you want them to be very versatile from one side to the other, something you can leave out, something that you can put in a home or give as kind of a generic side, and then you can have a seasonal side. Those word stencils come in packs of 3 and they are great. So consider those if you are looking to invest in some stencils for either project making, for classes, or for the holidays and craft fairs, maybe some signs you're trying to sell. Those are great stencils, you guys. Hands down, some of my favorites. I've had any problems with it. Well, good. You guys, on my end, it looks like it's delaying, so hopefully it's not. Sherry, I think on my last live last week, I believe. I sealed the boards before, and I didn't have any issues either way. So, I mean, I always seal them afterwards. I didn't notice any difference. But so if you wanted to seal several boards and then paint on them, you probably could do that. The sound is off. Janet, you're welcome. Thank you. I see so many hearts, you guys. Thank you. Yes, Trish, I know sometimes the 8 o'clock lives go pretty late, and it's usually because Bucky's able to come with me. Usually he's able to be here a little bit easier, and we get to talking and laughing and having a good time, and sometimes we don't get stuff done. Oh, I know what I was going to show you before we hop off. So some of you you can see, I'm going to clean this for you. I'm going to show you how I clean these. And it could be the weather, I guess. Sorry, something's going on with our video maybe. So I just I accidentally pulled out 2. It's only gonna take 1. You like the days? Oh, you guys, you know who I don't see on here? I haven't seen Abby. I don't know if Abby was watching my last live, and we were joking because Bucky was telling her that it was okay if she missed work to watch our videos. And I don't see her on here. And we were laughing about giving her a hall pass for work and how that would not work. And he was giving out really bad advice, you know, for her to skip work. My lips and my voice aren't matching up. Well, that's not good. I like that you're literally showing start to finish. Yeah, so the cleaning, I just take my 2 fingers, sometimes 1, and I just kind of make a little cover over my fingers like this, and then I just go, and if you've got smaller pieces in here, sometimes you just want to be a little bit more careful, but you can see, you guys, it's coming right off of there, and I do have tape on there still, but something that I will tell you, a good tip, so you can see I'm cleaning that just fine. But if you are doing a class and you are reusing stencils because people are sharing, something that you want to keep in mind is the back side. So the back side is also something that if you, you know, if you're passing them along to your neighbor because they're going to use the same stencil, before you put that down, check that back side to make sure it's clean and it doesn't have the paint on it. So that's just something. Yes, someone asked if I could have Bucky give them a pass for work because she was homesick today. I think that was Kim. That's so funny. Oh, Michelle, thank you. That's awesome. You guys probably all have different ways to clean. Learned a great lesson the other day. Stencils are way easier to clean when you do it. Oh my goodness. Girl, I totally know because and especially if you're not working in like a temperature controlled spot, like this shop is an old church. We have a furnace, we have heaters. But it still gets a little cold in here, like last night whenever the weather was like 10 degrees here in Missouri. So if you've got stencils sitting out with paint on them and they get really cold, yeah, sometimes your paint is very hard to get off of those. I've experienced that too. I recommend cleaning them after you are done using them, and don't let them sit if you don't have to, because sometimes it's not fun to come back and clean them. What I've also found is that most of the time, if you have somebody and you're doing a party or you're doing something, a lot of times if you have someone help you with your party, then they can help you clean also, you know, right away after stencils get used. And sometimes your guests don't even mind just wiping them down for you. So I had some ladies that totally cleaned up their stencils for me after they got done using them the other day. So, yay, Tammy! I'm glad. I don't even know what time it is. Usually Bucky tells me what time it is, and I have no concept of time right now because there's no clock in here that I can see. I don't have a watch on. So I'm just rambling, and I know some of you are having lunch probably now. So if you're just joining, thank you for joining. Yeah, you can let them soak in a dishpan. I used to let mine soak in water, but I just decided that I would just clean them instead. And once I started using the disinfectant wipes, it was a little easier for me. So you keep a tub of water. There's someone. Oh, it's Carson. I thought you were Bucky. There's Carson. I thought it was Bucky, but it's not. Carson just came in from the mill. He's all bundled up in coveralls. It's 10:14 in Idaho. So it's maybe only 12:14 here. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Glenda, thank you for watching. And Deanna, thank you. Okay. What time is it, Carson?
12:12.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. I haven't done bad. I was thinking, oh yeah, hold on. I'll show you, Carson. Maybe. Carson, can you? Oh no, there you are. Say hi. Hi. Okay. Good enough. He's headed to lunch. Hi from Egypt. Wow, I don't know that I've ever had anybody on from Egypt. That's amazing. I know I've seen someone on here from Australia. Tell Bucky hello. That was Carson. I thought it was Bucky, but it wasn't. It was Carson. He was coming in for lunch. Yes, Dawn dish soap does work good. Somebody also just said that a magic eraser works really well. So if you're struggling, you might try a magic eraser, or if you've got some on that is really hard pressed to get it off, you might try a magic eraser on that. He looked thrilled. I know, Sherry. I think he's cold and he's hungry. So it's hard telling what he's been doing today. I know he smelled a little bit like diesel fuel. So that's what we use to run our mill. But yeah, it's been cold, and I know it's not fun to work outside sometimes in the cold weather, but that's what we do. And it's cold early here. Like usually it's not this cold in Missouri until like January. Janice, he looked like Jeremiah Johnson. I don't think I know who that is. Should I know who that is? Windex. Oh, Joyce. Good. See, you guys rock. You have learned so much. So many of you start spouting off tips that I even forget about, and I love it. I love it because then I'm always like, oh yeah. Carson is my son. Yep, he's one of our kiddos. Hello from south of Chicago. Dawn dish soap is the bomb. Yes, totally. I agree. I know. Well, I do. I'm purposely staying in the shop today, Sherry. Today, yesterday, maybe tomorrow. Yeah. I find many things to do. I have actually a lot of signs to paint for Christmas, and I have some orders that I'm working on, and all of that stuff. So, Brittany, you know what? I knew that you and your sister we're gonna start working on some stenciling stuff. So I'm super excited to see where you guys go with that. If any of you, how many of you, I'm always curious, and maybe we can take a poll sometime, but and I should have asked this a long time ago. How many of you actually do signs for a business? How many of you are trying to start a business, or how many of you do that for a side business right now? So Let me know if you are doing something like that. I would love to know. I was reading a comment because I think you answered me who that was that you said Carson looked like. And I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, Robert Redford movie and a later TV series. That'll just go to his head like my husband. So he would know who Robert Redford is. Carson is like an old man trapped in a 22-year-old's body. He's an old soul. Would love to have a business like that. Susan, you do craft shows. Beth, you just opened your shop last week? That's fantastic. Sherry, sales are rough. I'm just starting a business. Thank you, Sherry, for watching. I do signs on the side business, just starting. I'd like to start a business. That's what I don't assume, but you know, whenever there's so many of you on here watching, I try to talk to you like maybe that's what you're doing where you are. And maybe that's, you know, what you're using the stencils for. Several of you are doing shows. That's awesome. Trying to sell some craft fairs, just starting. Would love to be that good. Oh, Pat, you know, I bet you're better than you think. I bet your signs look amazing. And who was it that just said that they've got an auto body business? Susan, I have seen your comment on here several times, and I have to tell you, I used to work for a body shop owner for about 15, 16 years. I had insurance relationships out in the field for a franchise, and he owned like 5 shops. So every time I see your auto body comment, I'm like, ooh, I still do a little bit of insurance marketing in the Kansas City area. So about 4 days, 3-4 days a month for some CarStar stores is what they're called. So I'm always curious about that, and I always mean to catch your comment and ask you. Not yet, hopefully soon. Yay for woodworking, you guys. Etching on mirrors. Watching from Southwest Missouri, Kathy. I'm in Northwest Missouri, in King City. I do shows and just sold them on Facebook. Yay, you guys. Most of you have a marketplace where you're at, so don't be afraid to put your stuff on Marketplace. Don't be afraid to market for what you think it's worth. And don't be afraid to only offer local pickup. If shipping scares you, like it has scared me, we just started shipping these project pieces like I've been using. I just finally figured that out. I'm working on some other shipping issues and shipping projects because shipping stuff is expensive. So it's really hard for me. I want to offer you guys stuff. I want to offer you our wood. It's also really hard for me to price our wood and then ask you to pay that shipping. Shipping can be so expensive. So whenever I'm trying to figure out shipping on our end, I'm trying to figure it out so it's the most cost effective, that you can get the most bang for your buck, especially if you're trying to start a business and you're doing business. It's not that I'm trying to send you this whole bundle, but it's just that sometimes for shipping purposes, it breaks it down to be much cheaper for me to ship you 5 project slabs than it really is for me to ship you 1 or 2. And I know that sounds silly, but it's really business-wise, it makes sense. So we sit down and we do the math and we think, man, you know, I can either ship them 2 at this price or I can ship them 5 at this price. And they're going to pay a little bit more because shipping's expensive. So just know whenever we're doing stuff on our end, and if you're somebody who's worried about shipping stuff or people asking you to ship stuff, don't let it hold you back. You can always do local pickup where you are, and you can offer that and see what happens. But pricing is something that people really get hung up on. I always say, you know, take into account your time, which is hard to price. Take into account the pieces that you're using and how much the cost is. Link to the mill for the wood slabs. I think our website or our Facebook page link up in the comments at the top of the video. It's Miller's Rustic Sawmill on Facebook. So you can like our page there. We do ship out those project bundles. They are 5 planed pieces that are basically like this, like what I've been using, like what I've been showing. And they are plain down. And there are 5 of them in a bundle. And they are $69.95 shipped. And that's 2 to 3 day priority shipping. So if you are interested in that, and they may or may not all be walnut, we have different woods sometimes that are more available, or maybe we have a better supply on. Thank you for sharing that, Michelle. I appreciate that. But we do have lighter woods. You never know. That's why I say they are a variety. Most of the time it's walnut because we cut a lot of walnut at our mill. So I have that to go and pick from. But anyway, if it's not, it's going to be another pretty wood that I think that you will like. So there's Bucky. I wasn't sure, you guys. There he is. We waited long enough. Carson came in a minute ago and I thought it was you.
Oh, hello.
There's my husband, you guys. And love your slabs, love your slabs. Thank you. Well, if you're ordering, if you want to order the slabs, you can definitely go to our page. But I would also tell you to get some of the stencils like I used today. You can use my link and you can save 10%. They work perfect, really well on those size. And the words have been very, very popular, especially on those project pieces. Like you can just honestly do them in white and they look beautiful on those project pieces. So if you don't have the words, I would encourage you to get these sets. These are 2 awesome, simple sets that if you've already got some of the Christmas ones or something, you could even just do, you could do thankful on the back for Thanksgiving, and then you could do some of the others you could do them on both sides. So those could be flipped around too. There's Bucky.
In case she forgot to mention, yesterday was her birthday too.
No, most of them know.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but thank you. Amanda had told them on her live last night, I guess. So a little birdie told them. And how Amanda knew, she must have been Facebook stalking because she shouldn't have had that information either, I don't think. But she knew it was my birthday. What size did I use today? This is like one of the project pieces like that would come in a bundle as well. So the project pieces are about approximately 22 inches long. They're going to be anywhere from 6 inches to maybe 10 or 11 inches wide. So, but this is similar to what I ship out, you guys. It's upside down, I know. But thank you. They do make really good double-sided signs. Love the piece you did today. It's easy. So this will be super cute once I get a hanger on it. And, like I told you guys, instead of taking stuff off the walls and rearranging walls for Christmas, you can hang it like this all year long and then flip it around for Christmas. Or this is really just like a winter one. You could do this, sleigh rides. You could do other colors for, your stuff, but the red and the white and the black really pop on this wood. So keep that in mind. Here's Bucky. Yeah, and he can't see your comments because I don't even have the computer pulled up. Usually he sits at the computer and reads through your guys' comments, you guys. Thank you, Wendy. Hey, Erin, how are you? Thank you for the birthday wishes. Yeah. You guys, the reversible stuff, I'm all about reversible. Linda says she needs more sets. When is our next slab sale? Sherry, I think our next slab sale at the mill will be on the 23rd. Pretty sure that's tentative. Once you see it on Facebook, then it's official. So follow our page, make sure. Kim needs the hall pass for work. Yeah, we were talking about Abby, remember? She's not on here. She probably got fired. No, she didn't get fired. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
She's
hey,
working.
Mary. Yeah, she's probably working.
See, if she'd have took my advice, she'd be on there.
She'd be fired if she took her advice. What set is the sleigh ride you used today? It is in this cute little 3-pack. Let me find it. So it also has It's the Christmas collection, and it is the 6 by 17 inch. It has the Fresh Farm Christmas trees in there. And then it has the sleigh rides, and it has Farmhouse Christmas. So that is the set it is in. And that size works really well on the project slabs. So if you're considering both, make sure that you follow my link and you save some money if you're ordering stencils, you guys. No, Wendy, I'm just kidding. I don't think she's probably working like Bucky said. She's probably at work instead of watching my video, which is smart on her part. I wish that they had pine cones. Well, you never know what Essential Stencil is going to come out with. They have beautiful stencils. They're very durable, and they have some very neat creations. They're a great company to work with. So Susan needs a hall pass. Hey, we're going to start shipping out hall passes too. Just kidding.
I'll write you up one.
Yeah, Bucky will write it for you. You can drop it in the mail. Need a job to get the stencils. There you go. Sometimes it just takes a few just to start out with. You start selling a few things and then you invest a little bit more, you know. Tina, I'm not live every day. I'm live on Tuesdays. So if you watch on Tuesdays, I alternate daytime and nighttime. So today, you know, I started at 11. Next week I'll be on at 8 p.m. So you like the sleigh. Thank you, Trish.
Central time.
Central time. Yeah, it's Central time. Regina, thank you for watching. Okay, so yes, need to pick some winners. Winners. Essential Stencil will pick out the set that you're going to get. I have no way of knowing what it's going to be, but if I say your name and you are a winner today, what I need you to do is I'm gonna write this down because I need you to comment in the comments that you are a winner, and then I need you to comment your email. So that is what I need you to do. I need you to comment that you are a winner, and then I need you to comment that your email for me. So today's winners are, and thank you guys all for watching. This is always the hard part. Usually Bucky picks the winners whenever he's here, but he wasn't here today. So I have Tina Presley, you are a winner. I have Michelle Whitaker Myers, you are a winner. And I have Jenny Graves, you are a winner. So those are my three winners. Tina Presley, Michelle Whitaker Myers, and Jenny Graves. So if you get, you're still on, hopefully, you can comment winner, comment your email, and then I will submit that to Essential Stencil and they will contact you. So congratulations to the winners. You guys always watch. If you're watching us girls on Essential Stencil, we usually get to give away. So if you haven't won yet, your odds are good of winning. They are so gracious to let us give away stencils and pick winners. It's never easy to pick winners, but we just kind of randomly do it. So Tina Presley, there's Michelle. Hey Michelle, congratulations. Thank you. You already got your stuff in there. Then I need Tina Presley. I think there was a name before that. I think it was hyphenated, but Tina Presley, you are a winner. And then I have Jenny Graves. Those are my three winners. You can catch me again next Tuesday at 8 p.m. And I just want you guys to think about, up in the link at the top of the video, there is my code, my link to order, and I will put the names of the winners on here. So if I don't see their names, I will comment the winners' names so we can make sure that we get their emails and that they know. So, but remember, if you're ordering stencils, to use my link and save 10%. If you're going to join us in the Stencil of the Month Club, definitely use my code there and save on your first month. But, oh, there you are, Tina, yay. Awesome, you are a winner. Then I also have our Facebook link. So if you're interested in learning more about our business and what we do at Miller's Rustic Sawmill, you can follow us over there. Otherwise, keep making, keep practicing, keep stenciling, and I will look forward to seeing you guys all next week. Join me next Tuesday at 8. And in the meantime, if you have any questions about our business, you can message me on our business page. Have a great week.